Hello, welcome to our channel Learn to Score. In this video, I am going to introduce probability concept. I hope you will like the video. Please subscribe to our channel for regular updates. Thank you. Let us look at few statements now. Ravi says no chance for me to score pass mark in English exam. No chance for me to score pass mark in English exam. The next statement reads as I am preparing well. I'll mostly score 90 plus marks in mathematics this time. Captains of two teams are going for toss. Both of them have equal chance to win the toss. Right? The next statement is though it is cloudy, it is less likely to rain today. Look at less likely. Clouds are very dark now. It is most likely to rain heavily today. Please carry your umbrella while going out. When you look at all these statements, here he is saying no chance, meaning there is some chance actually, because if English madam teacher thinks that, or English teacher thinks that I have to give pass mark to every student, then whatever Ravi says may not happen, right? Same is true. If the exam paper is so tough, he may not be able to score 90 plus marks. If the coin used here is mostly, let's say, goes for toss or goes for heads, then such coins are called biased coins, and there may not be equal chance for both the teams to win the toss, right? The person who chooses to go for heads is going to win because the coin most of the times gives you head, right? Here less likely to rain today, and here it is most likely to rain today. When you look at these words, chance, mostly, less likely, most likely, these are the words talking about some uncertainty associated with various events. Here event is scoring pass marks, here scoring 90 plus marks, here equal chance of winning the toss, and raining today and raining heavily today. These are the events, but there is some uncertainty associated with all these events, right? When you are having these words, most chance, mostly, less likely, most likely, more likely, these kind of words, when you have in sentences, it means that you have certain uncertainty about the outcome associated with those events, right? Probability is a branch of mathematics that deals with describing how likely the events are to happen, how likely the first event is going to happen, or how likely the second event is going to happen. These kind of things is what the probability subject is going to describe about. Understood? Let us now understand probability. Let's say we toss a coin. We get either head or tail, right? When you toss a coin, you get either head or tail. Let us consider an experiment of tossing the coin for 1,000 times. You toss the coin and record the outcome. For example, first time you got the head, you count heads equal to 1. Next time you got tail, then you say tails equal to 1. Next time you got head, this time the count of heads is going to be 1 plus 1, that is equal to 2, right? Next time also you got head, then count of heads is going to be 3. Next time you got tails, the count of tails is going to be 1 plus 1, that is equal to 2. Like that you conduct this experiment and record all the outcomes, and then let's say end of the experiment of tossing 1,000 times, you got 455 times head. Okay, based on this experiment, I can say that the likelihood of getting heads is 455 divided by 1,000, that is equal to 0.455, right? What we have done, we have conducted an experiment of tossing the coin for 1,000 times and recorded the outcomes. Out of those recorded outcomes, we got 455 times head, right? Out of 1,000 times, we got 455 times head. For that reason, we say that likelihood of getting heads is 0.455. Understood? Now let us consider another experiment. This time we are going to toss the coin for 10,000 times and record the outcomes. Let's say that this time head turned up 5067 times. Based on this experiment, I can say that the likelihood of getting heads is 0.5067, right? From the first experiment, we could say that likelihood is 0.455. In this experiment, it is likelihood is equal to 0.5067. Now let us consider another experiment. Tossing the coin for 24,000 times this time. Okay. Now, interestingly, let's say that head turned up 12,012 times. Okay. Based on this experiment, I can say that getting heads is 0.5005, meaning likelihood of getting heads is 0.5005. Let's take a note of these three experiments. Okay. In the first experiment, likelihood is 0.455. In the second experiment, likelihood is 0.5067. In the third experiment is likelihood of getting heads is 0.5005. What these experiments are saying? These experiments are giving some idea about probability of getting head when you toss a coin. These experiments are determining the probability of getting a head when you toss a coin. First experiment says, probability is 0.455. When you toss a coin, probably 0.455 times you are going to get heads, right? The second experiment is saying the probability is 0.5067. The third experiment is saying probability is 0.5005, right? When you toss a coin for 10 times, probably you are going to get 5 times heads and 5 times tails. That is what it is telling you, right? These probabilities are called empirical probabilities or experimental probabilities. Why? By conducting the experiment, we are saying these numbers, right? By conducting an experiment of 1000 times tossing the coin, we say the probability is 0.455. It means it is an empirical probability or experimental probability, right? In the second case, we say that experimental probability is 0.5067. In the third case, the experimental probability is 0.5005, right? And please note that, whatever we are learning about probability, of course, the probability concepts themselves are applied in the field of science and technology and in our daily life. To give you some examples, probability is used in weather forecasting. Is it going to rain today or not? If somebody is giving you forecast of weather, it means that they are using probability concepts, using the data coming from what is the humidity today, what is the temperature today, and what is the air velocity today. Based on these and a lot of previous data, what happened yesterday, what happened day before, like that, if you have a lot of data, based on that they do some analysis and probability based analysis and give you the forecast for today, right? So weather forecasting is one field where probability is used. Predicting outcome of a game is another thing. For example, some match is going on, with what probability team A is going to win, with what probability team B is going to win, what is the margin of the win. All this you can find based on, or you can forecast or predict based on the concepts of probability. Please note this. Outcome of an exam. How many students are going to score 9+ grade? If you want to get that information, how the students are, and how teachers have thought, and what was the data coming from previous years, based on all that, and how are the exam papers this time, based on all that data, probability concepts are used and outcome of an exam can be determined. Chance of winning a lottery is another thing. You can use probability concepts to find what is the chance of winning a lottery. Failure of a component of a product is something where probability concepts are used, and it makes a lot of difference to the manufacturers. For example, car has got many components, right? It has tires, it has wheels, it has so many nuts and bolts, it has engine, it has steering wheel, it has steering wheel control, so many things, right? Every component can fail at different times, right? So if manufacturer has data of failure of different components. Then based on the probability analysis, he can figure out how many components are going to fail or how many cars are going to have failure within 1 year, within 2 years, within 3 years, within 4 years, like that. If you have probability, and based on some probability estimate, he can say that, okay, I'll offer 3 years warranty period. When he offers 3 years warranty period, he knows, how many components are going to fail. Based on that, how much of loss he is going to incur because of the warranty period he offers, right? So based on that, some manufacturer can give 5 years warranty, some manufacturer may give only 1 year warranty, right? Or some manufacturer may say that I'm not going to give any warranty on this particular component, because he may be aware that that component can fail even next day based on probability analysis, right? So the area probability is going to make a lot of difference to many fields actually. I hope you got the concept of probability and where it is being used, right? Let us learn some definitions of probability now. If we toss a coin, we get head or tail, right? Getting head and getting tail are the outcomes of this particular experiment. If you say that I'm tossing a coin, that is my experiment, then what are the outcomes? Getting head and getting tail are the outcomes. Suppose you want to get head, meaning you want to get the outcome of the tossing experiment to be head. In that case, you say that getting head is called event. Please note this. Outcome you want to happen is called the event, right? Tossing the coin many times to record outcomes is what we have conducted earlier. That is called experiment, right? Tossing the coin many times to record outcomes is called experiment. Of course, in laboratory, you do experiments. This is also some experiment only, right? You're tossing the coin and recording. For example, you conduct some reaction and say, what are the products? That is what you write in your wet lab experiment, right? In chemistry lab experiment. But here, in the probability experiment, you are tossing the coin and recording the outcomes. How many times heads are coming? How many times tails are coming, right? That's why this is also called an experiment. And we have seen 3 experiments. First experiment, we have tossed the coin 1,000 times. In the second experiment, we tossed the coin 10,000 times. In the third experiment, we have tossed the coin 24,000 times, right? Tossing the coin only once can also be called trail. Okay, it can be called a trail. Tossing the coin only once can be called a trail. It means in the case of experiment 1, we had 1,000 number of trials, right? 1,000 trials we have done, and 450 times we got, 455 times we got heads. That's why the empirical probability of getting head is 0.455, right? In the experiment 2, the number of trials were 10,000, right? And the probability was 0.5067. When you look at this, you can define the empirical probability, right? Empirical probability of an event E, that is denoted using P of E equal to number of trials in which event E happened divided by total number of trials. In the first case, total number of trials were 1,000, right? And number of times event E, in this particular case, event E is what? Getting heads, right? Event E is heads. So how many number of trials led to event heads? 450 number of trials, 455 number of trials, right? That's why the empirical probability has become 0.455. In the second case, the number of trials, total number of trials were 10,000, and number of trials that led to event heads was 5067, right? For that reason, the empirical probability has become 0.5067. In the third case, the total number of trials in the denominator is 24,000, and the number of trials that lead to event head was 12,012. That's why the empirical probability P of E or P of heads is equal to 12,012 divided by 24,000. That is equal to 0.5005, right? You understood the definition of empirical probability now? Here we have learned what does it mean by outcomes, right? And what does it mean by event, right? And what does it mean by experiment? And then what is trial means, and what is the empirical probability? Empirical probability is defined as number of trials in which event E happened divided by the total number of trials, right? When you look at these three, you can say that as the number of trials increased, the probability was approaching 0.5, right? As the number of trials has increased, the probability was approaching 0.5. 0.5 here is called theoretical probability, right? In this particular case, we have conducted experiment, 3 different experiments. Of course, you can conduct 4th experiment and 1 lakh times you can toss the coin and see what that is going to approach 0.5. The reason for approaching 0.5 is 0.5 is called theoretical probability of tossing the coin, or theoretical probability for getting heads when you toss a coin, or theoretical probability of getting a tail when you toss a coin. That is 0.5. Right? Now let's understand what does it mean by theoretical probability, or the probability in the theoretical approach. Why we have to learn this? The reason for learning this is, it is not always easy to conduct experiments and see. For example, you want to see probability of failure of an engine. For that, you want to, use the engine multiple times and make sure that it fails, and then take the outcomes into record and define it. Is that the way you do it? Maybe, but not always needed. For example, what is the probability of building collapsing? Okay, it's very difficult to conduct experiments and find experimental probability or empirical probability, right? In such cases, you will be approaching theoretical probability in the theoretical manner. Let's understand what does it mean by theoretical probability. If we toss a coin, we get head or tail. That's what we know, right? If I have a fair coin, chance of getting head is equal to chance of getting tail, right? Here the word fair coin makes the big difference. When I say fair coin, it is not going to have any bias towards either getting heads or getting tail. It is going to give heads equal number of times compared to the tails, right? In that case, we can say that chance of getting head equal to half, and chance of getting tail is also equal to half. Why? Because chance of getting either tail or head is 1, right? When you throw a coin, you are going to get either tail or head, right? So if the chance of getting head equal to chance of getting tail, then what is the chance of getting head? Half. What is the chance of getting tail? Half, right? It means the outcomes of this particular experiment are equally likely outcomes. Meaning, what are the outcomes? Outcomes are heads or tails, right? And we have seen that chance of getting head is equal to chance of getting tail, that is equal to half. That's why we say that they are equally likely outcomes. Please note this. Okay, when you have equally likely outcomes, you can define theoretical probability. That is defined as number of outcomes favorable to event E divided by number of all possible outcomes of the experiment. Theoretical probability of an event E, that is P of E, is defined as the number of outcomes favorable to event E divided by the number of all possible outcomes. Please note this. Number of outcomes favorable divided by number of all possible outcomes, right? Now, tossing the coin. When you toss the coin, 2 outcomes are possible, right? That is either getting head or getting tails. So let me write it in the notation of sets. This set contains 2 elements. One is H and other is T, right? You want to get head, meaning event in this particular case is head, right? Only one outcome leads to head. We know that, right? When you toss a coin, one of the outcomes of 2 possible outcomes is heads, right? it means only one outcome leads to head. Or in other words, you can say only one outcome is favorable for this particular event of getting head. That's why in this set, I am denoting it using only one element H. Now look at this. All possible outcomes has got two elements. Getting head or the event has got only one element, right? This particular thing is called sample space. All possible outcome space, whatever you have, is called sample space. Please note this. And even this H is called event space, meaning what are the favorable outcomes. That set is called event space. Understood? Now, probability of getting head, in this particular case, I am denoting it using P of H. P of H equal to number of outcomes favorable to H, event H, divided by number of all possible outcomes of the experiment, right? We have seen in this particular case, only one outcome is favorable. That's why we have written 1 in the numerator. And here, two outcomes are possible. That's why 2 comes in the denominator. So, probability of getting head is equal to 1 by 2. You understood? You can define it as the number of elements in the event space divided by the number of elements in the sample space. That also can give you probability of getting head, right? Similarly, you can write probability of getting tail. That is also going to be equal to half. P of T is equal to half. That's what you write in that case. Understood? Theoretical probability is defined as P of E equal to number of outcomes favorable to event E divided by number of all possible outcomes of the experiment, right? Now let us consider another example. Consider a red ball and a black ball. You have two balls here, red and black color balls. Experiment here is randomly select a ball. Okay, it means, here you have to understand red color ball and black color ball are there, but these balls are only differ in their color. When you touch, they feel the same. When you take their weight, they get the same weight. When you take their volume, the size of the ball is also same. Everything except the color, okay, is same. Only color is the different. One is in red color and other is in black color. Now you want to randomly select a ball. Okay, since only color is different, when you want to select randomly, what you do is you close your eyes and simply pick a ball, right? So since you are randomly selecting, meaning closing the eyes and picking the ball, you can pick either red color ball or black color ball. The chance of getting red color ball is equal to chance of getting the black color ball, right? Because only color differs. The texture, the size, shape, and weight, everything is same. For that reason, you cannot say whether, just by closing your eyes and picking, you cannot say whether it is red color ball or black color ball unless you open your eyes and see the color. For that reason, you say that chance of getting red color ball is equal to chance of getting black color ball, meaning the outcome is same, right? That's why you say outcomes of this experiment are equally likely, meaning you picking the red color ball is equal to the chance of picking the red color ball is equal to the chance of picking the black color ball. That's why you say the outcomes are equally likely. For this experiment, two outcomes are possible, right? Either you would be picking red color ball or you would be picking black color ball, right? The outcomes are two possibilities. One is red and other is black. This particular set, if you look at it, has got two elements, right? What is the sample space? Sample space has got R and B. The number of elements of the sample space is 2. Suppose you want to select red color ball. It means picking the red color ball is the event, or selecting the red color ball is the event, right? Now, you say what are the favorable outcomes? Only one outcome leads to the event, right? Picking the red color ball is the only outcome that leads to this particular event. Meaning, if you pick red color ball, that time it leads to the event, right? That's why you say only one outcome is favorable. When you pick the red color ball, that time event happens, right? So if you look at this, this is event space, right? It has got only one element. Now let's write the theoretical probability for this. Probability of selecting red color ball, I am denoting that using P of R, that is equal to number of outcomes favorable to event R divided by number of all possible outcomes. What are number of all possible outcomes? When you count, you say R and B, meaning two outcomes are possible, right? And number of outcomes favorable to event R, that is only one outcome, that is just R. That's why it is going to be 1 by 2. In other words, if you say the number of elements in the event space, that is 1, divided by the number of elements in the sample space, that is 2, right? So the theoretical probability of selecting the red color ball is half. Understood? Let us consider another example. Consider a pair of red color balls and a black ball, right? Now, you see, here also, I'm going to take random selection only, meaning chance of picking each ball is the same, right? Picking this ball is equal to probability of picking this ball, or chance of picking this ball is equal to chance of picking this red color ball, or chance of picking this black color ball. All are equal, right? That's why you say that outcomes of this experiment are equally likely. You understood now what does it mean by equally likely? Meaning chance of picking this color ball or this particular ball is equal to chance of picking this particular ball. That is also equal to chance of picking this ball, right? That's why the outcomes of this experiment are equally likely. Now for this experiment, 3 outcomes are possible, right? It can be the first red color ball, or this can be second red color ball, or picking the black color ball. So the 3 outcomes are possible here. Those are R, R and B. If you look at this, this is called sample space, right? Sample space has got 3 number of elements, total 3 elements, right? Now let's say that you want to select red color ball. Okay, in this particular case, you can pick this particular ball or this particular ball, right? There are 2 outcomes possible, right? I can pick the first red color ball or the second red color ball, right? So that's why let me say that selecting the red color ball is the event, and 2 outcomes are possible. 2 outcomes lead to this particular event, right? It means 2 favorable outcomes for this particular event. What are those favorable outcomes? This R1 or R2, right? 2 outcomes are favorable. So now theoretical probability is going to be 2 by 3, because number of elements in the event space is 2 and number of elements in the sample space is 3. That's why it is 2 by 3, right? Number of outcomes favorable divided by number of all possible outcomes is 2 by 3. That's why probability of selecting a red color ball P of R equal to 2 by 3. Right? Let's say you want to select black color ball. In this particular case, event is going to be selecting the black color ball, right? How many outcomes are possible? Only one outcome is favorable, right? Total 3 outcomes are possible. That's what we have seen. But what is favorable is only one outcome, right? That is B. Look at this event space. Event space has got only one element, whereas sample space has got 3 elements. That's why the probability of selecting the black color ball is going to be 1 by 3. You understood the definition of probability of theoretical probability and how theoretical probability is used to compute probability of different events. We have seen that, right? In this particular case, probability of selecting the black color ball is defined as number of outcomes favorable to event B, that is selecting the black color ball, divided by number of all possible outcomes. The number of outcomes favorable is 1 and all possible outcomes is 3. That's why the probability is 1 by 3. Theoretical probability of selecting black color ball is 1 by 3. I hope you got the concept. I hope you like the video. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel Learn to Score. Thank you.